toads are a lot tougher than we give them credit for, but I worry about the effect that humans are having on them. Chytrid fungus is a parasite that infects amphibians all over the world. Amphibians face a lot of different threats, but chytrid is one of the main ones. We don't want to track in chytrid anywhere, so we usually disinfect all of our gear between wetlands and especially before we come here, we want to make sure we're not tracking in any chytrid. So we're a little extra precautious today. The objective today is to go into Hanging Gardens and swab 30 toads for chytrid fungus. The U.S. Geological Survey has tested amphibians all over Glacier National Park, and they have found chytrid everywhere except Logan Pass. Wow, look at these Indian paintbrush. Oh my gosh, look at these different colors. Amphibian populations have been declining around the world since the 1980s, and chytrid has been a major killer. Whole populations, even entire species, will simply disappear. I'm afraid this could happen in Glacier. It seems fitting that an incredible place like Logan Pass would be one of the few spots in the world without chytrid fungus. We'll go in and we capture the toads by hand. They're pretty easy to catch because they just have little short hops. Was that one? Oh, there's one. Looks like a female. Wow. So we just swabbed this toad, the first one of the day. So we can't see the fungus, so we're swabbing to test for the fungus DNA. That, unfortunately, is the only way to test for it. And to preserve the DNA, we have a big cooler that we have ice packs and other swabs from our sampling in. I process my own swabs, which costs about $5 to $6 per swab. And it doesn't sound like a lot, but it can really add up. Luckily, the Glacier National Park Conservancy has funded a big part of this research project, so it's possible. I love frogs. I grew up with frogs. That was what I loved to do as a kid, and I didn't learn until college that they were disappearing. I grew up in Ohio on 4 acres with a big pond. And so we would always go out and catch bullfrogs. I think they've always symbolized spring and summer and being able to play outside. And I can't imagine kids growing up today without frogs, and kids in the future not having frogs to go catch. We haven't detected chytrid here in this valley and down at these wetlands and on the way down here, but right over this ridge is where we have found chytrid in both frogs and toads. So if an animal can travel across this ridge, it could potentially bring chytrid here. So we're hoping we don't detect it today. It's a huge deal if there's no chytrid here, because every site that we've tested so far has chytrid in the park, except for this one. Three months later, I got the results back from the lab. Unfortunately, the Logan Pass swabs tested positive for chytrid fungus. This area of Logan Pass is closed to off-trail hiking, so it shouldn't have been spread here from a hiker. But the fungus could have been carried here by a migrating amphibian or even by another animal like a moose or a bird. It's really devastating to have chytrid at Logan Pass. But one thing that still gives me hope is how well amphibians are persisting in Glacier despite chytrid. For some reason, the toads here are surviving chytrid a lot better than toads in other places like the southern Rocky Mountains. Maybe we can learn a useful lesson from these toads to help amphibians elsewhere. They're hardy. I think they can last. They can beat it.